Hey folks, welcome everyone. Thanks for showing up. So this is the very first Jadu live webinar, and this one is about an introduction to Git and GitHub. I will get the speaker to join and hand it over to him. But before that, I am going to talk a bit about Jadu, and then uh, we can talk about Git and GitHub. So before we move on to the Git and GitHub, let me quickly go through like what exactly is Jadu, and yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So let me talk a bit about Jadu. What is Jadu, and why is Jadu, and why do you even need to care about Jadu, and why am I even here to explain what is Jadu? So, Jadu is founded to empower students with mentorship and career opportunities. We take help from Google developer experts, entrepreneurs, tech investors, full stack developers, and solution builders to help the students, to help the people who have no idea about coding or who have some idea about coding to learn how to make a career in tech industry. So our vision is that we help the fellows, we help the students to learn about different web technologies along with soft skills and also mentorship to help them to get a career in different opportunities. So that is the general idea about Jadu. Now, what exactly Jadu is offering are the five different things. So we, as I said, we do provide technical skills to the fellows, which includes like different things. I will come back to that in a few moments. But we do provide technical skills to the fellows. We do provide the mentorship classes, like resume building, project management, time management, these kind of things, which is something that whatever field you are in, it is something that you definitely need. And then apart from that, we do give projects that are related to technical things, like especially to the web technologies. And we do have like monthly Q&A sessions in the cohort, in the fellowship, which where the fellows can ask questions about like the things that they are struggling with. Either it's a technical thing, either it's something related to their jobs, interviews, anything. And then we also have community sessions, which strongly promote the idea of community building. So these are the different things that Jadu is providing for to the fellows. Now, as I said, I will come back to the technical session. What are the technical sessions and what does it cover? So here are the few things that a fellow learns during the fellowship, which starts from the very basic HTML and then move on to the CSS and then move on to the JavaScript. And then we do have we do cover a library of JavaScript that is called React.js, which is the most popular library at the moment. And then of course we do cover deployments on how to deploy your website or whatever thing that you're working on so that it is live 24/7 and you can also show it to your friends as well. And Firebase as a database, and then of course my personal favorite one, GitHub, which is something we are going to talk about today as well. So here is the general structure of the cohort, so you can get an idea of like what will you learn during the fellowship. So people who have some idea about coding can join, but also people who have no idea about coding, like someone who is totally from a non-tech background, they are also welcome in the Jadu fellowship. Here is a sneak peek of our mentors. So they are not just limited to these four of them, but here are like a few example. And the point of like showing them here is just to give you an idea of like what kind of mentors can you expect. So like Mashood, who is a Google developer expert, Waleed, who is a CEO at Carnelian, and like we have like amazing mentors who will give you like amazing soft skills, and I'm sure you will learn a lot of the things from them. So here are a few of them. If you're still curious to know more about like who else is going to be in the cohort or in the fellowship, uh, I am going to direct you to that. Like how can you find about who else is there, and a lot of other things as well. So yeah, that is the general idea. That is the general idea of the fellowship. That is the general idea of like Jadu, and that is like the things that you will be learning and a sneak peek of the fellows, of the mentors. Now, if you're interested, this is something that you think is something that is interesting to you, and you do want to be a part of the Jadu Fellowship. So here is the website, which is jadujobs.com. You can simply go to the Jadu Jobs, and there you will find a brochure, which is a Google Doc, and in that brochure you can get A to Z details about Jadu Jobs, the upcoming fellowship. So the admissions are currently open, and the deadline for the admission is 25 January. So if it is something that you want to apply, so please do apply as soon as possible. You can find there all of the mentors. You can find there like how it works. It is something I do want to mention that it is something that is not completely free. We do charge something. We do charge an amount, and all of the details, including the amount, including the mentors, and every single thing that is mentioned in the brochure. So you can check that, and you can also apply from the website. And also we do have a Discord community which is now public, so you can join that as well. All of these things are mentioned on the website, which is jadujobs.com. And please make sure that you follow us on LinkedIn, and the LinkedIn username is Jadu Jobs. So that is a bit about Jadu Jobs. I hope this is something that you find interesting. Now I am switching back to myself, and yeah, so today as I said, we are going to talk about Git and GitHub, which is, to be honest, my personal favorite thing. And for that, we have an amazing person who is my friend and also someone who is also a campus expert, GitHub campus expert. That person is Raheel Siddiqui. And I am going to let him join the stream, and then he can take over from there. So, hey, Raheel, you are on mute.
Hey guys, just sorry for that. I don't have like a really fancy setup like Arslan, but I do have a kind of setup. So, hey guys, my name is Raheel Siddiqui and I am from Karachi, Pakistan. And we both are from program for students. It's called GitHub Campus Expert. So, we'll be talking about GitHub and we'll be discussing a beginner guide and beginner technical concepts. A student or a person who should have them. So let me share my screen.
Okay, so one other thing before we proceed is I just want to let the audience know that this is something that will be divided into two different streams. So like this is the part one, and then we will have the part two, which will be the next week. And I think maybe you can talk about like what are we going to cover in the part one, and then what will be there in the part two.
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen first. Mm, okay. Is it visible? Just let me know.
Yep, it is.
Okay, great. So basically, these two workshops are divided into basics and then the implementation of GitHub. Today we will be talking about all the technical terms that we have in GitHub, like what are the basic terms. It could be from basic what is GitHub, what is open source, what is Git, to what are the technical terms like pushing code to GitHub and then forking, merging, etc. etc. So, uh, so this is the title and introduction to Git and GitHub, and let me just give a quick introduction about myself. So, as you all know, my name is Raheel Siddiqui, and I'm GitHub Campus Expert. Other than that, I've been a part of different communities related to uh, programs such as Google Developer Student Clubs, Amazon Builder Program, which is called also program for professionals, and then the Microsoft program, and as well GitHub. So this is my website. If you guys want to connect with me, you can also connect with me and then check out about me, LinkedIn, uh, all the Twitter, everything is there. So uh, Let's start with the topic. Let me just first give a brief introduction about what we'll be discussing today. So this is the beginner workshop. We'll be talking about things, and we'll be saying कि uh, क्या क्या चीज़ें हो सकती हैं गिटहब में, what are the repositories and what are the branching pull requests. As you can see, it is starting from what is open source and then ending with developer student pack as well, because it's a beginner guide, and developer student pack is something which is like really beneficial for students as well. So uh, let me start with the agenda. And if we talk about open source, so what is open source? Open source basically is a computer software that is distributed under license that allows users to use, study, modify, and distribute the program and its source code to anyone and for any purpose. अगर इसको layman की language में समझे तो कि this is something a simple software जिस जो कि internet पे publicly available है, and anyone everyone can use it and make something out of it, use its source code, and manage it as well. And he or she doesn't have to pay for it. Although there are like different restrictions which can be managed by licensing and stuff. But yeah, initially, this is something that you can access for free. It's a source code. And this open source project are mainly managed on GitHub. So I'll be talking about GitHub and Git. Basically, GitHub is derived from a word Git. Git and GitHub, and what are the differences between them? So Git is a source code version management system that allows you to manage and trace the history of your code. So for example, I'm going to be talking about a layman language, so all the beginners can understand it. So for example, there's this guy who is coding his stuff, and he did something. uh, so his code is working fine, और फिर वो उस कोड में कुछ करता है जिसकी वजह से उसका कोड नहीं चलता आगे जाके. बट ही इज श्योर कि अगर वो दोबारा अपने उस पुराने कोड पे जाता है, सो हिज कोड विल बी वर्किंग फाइन. So this is called this is a small example of version management. So what it does, it creates the small versions of your code and then pack into different maybe commits, different branches. There are like different formats, and then you can easily go through them in future as well. अगर आप कुछ गलत कर देते हैं कोड में, you can easily come back to it and manage your changings, and you can see what are the changings and what are the things that you can reuse as well. So this is something Git does. So what is GitHub then? So GitHub is basically a service that allows you to manage Git repositories. जितने भी Git repositories होते हैं, repository भी it's a technical term for GitHub. So I'll be talking about it also. But all the repositories, for example, you have a folder which has a code, and then you're pushing it to the cloud. You have that on the cloud and everyone can access it. You can access it, but GitHub is managing it. GitHub is a service that manages it. If you have Git based open source projects, GitHub is meant to help you manage them better. So it's basically initially it was a UI to manage Git, but then it becomes furthermore as Microsoft acquired GitHub as well, which was the biggest deal. And yeah, so now GitHub is moved towards has moved towards the project management side as well, so you can easily manage your projects on GitHub as well. But uh, uh, considering all the technical terms, so why should I learn GitHub, and why should I know about GitHub as GitHub as a programmer or as a student? So I used to think the same as a beginner when I was in my first year of university. So I used to think, why should I have to use GitHub? In fact, I can use Google Drive to share my code and to share my stuff as well. So uh, number one thing, so I didn't know about all the technicalities which most of beginner doesn't know about. So the first of them is it makes it easy to contribute to your open source projects. ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट्स वही प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं जो कि आपकी क्लाउड पब्लिकली एक्सेसिबल है सबके लिए. After that, it helps to it helps you to showcase your work. Basically, it's a famous saying that GitHub is and Instagram for programmers. If you have Instagram and you are a blogger, so it is something that is matter. And if you are a programmer and if you don't have GitHub, so it is something that you don't have anything to showcase your talent as well or showcase your skills. So that's the thing. Other than that, it keeps and tracks changes in your code across versions that we recently discussed. It creates version of your project and you can easily shift towards to the previous versions as well. अदर देन दैट इंटीग्रेशन ऑप्शंस हैं. जितने भी आप कोड करते हो देन इन फ्यूचर यू हैव टू इंटीग्रेट टेस्टिंग एंड स्टफ. यू हैव टू ऑटोमेट समथिंग which could be, for example, it could be continuous integration and continuous development as well. So uh, so uh, according to the agenda, we have something. Let's डिस्कवर गिटहब लेआउट. ओके, अभी तक जो बातें की हमने अभी उसमें से समझ आया ओके व्हाट इज गिटहब, व्हाट इज गिट एंड व्हाट इज ओपन सोर्स एंड व्हाई शुड आई लर्न गिटहब. So we know the importance of GitHub. You can showcase your portfolio if you're a programmer as well. So let's go towards to GitHub and check its layout. So Arslan, please let me know if you can see my Chrome screen.
Yep.
Great. So this is the basic UI. If you log into your GitHub, this is the basic UI, and it is kind of similar to different platforms. Not kind of similar to different platform, but the activity stuff is something related to your timeline. You have different timelines in different platforms. So on GitHub, you have all activity timelines. For example, I have been following different people. For example, Param, I am following Param, so I can see his activity, recent activity, and a lot of different people that I am following. I can see their activity here. Here I can see my recent repositories and then my teams as well. Other than that, if I go here and then this drop down shows me different options as well. I can explore my profile. So, to gamify the platform, we have followers, we have following, we have different things that we can check the stars. As we have on Instagram, we have likes on the posts, but on GitHub we can check stars. How many people are giving me, for example, stars is referred to likes as well. So uh, this is the basic interface or layout of GitHub. Here you can customize your README file and talk about yourself. As you can see, I shared something about me, and then I put this cool GIF here as well. So you can also mention your tools and stuff. You can also mention your stats about the contribution as well. This is the basic stats that we have, and it shows that how many days that you have been active on GitHub and been contributing. So this is my contribution activity as well. So then we have different tabs here: projects, packages, stars, and then repositories. So according to agenda, let's move towards to our next topic. Before that, as SpongeBob never said, having 1,000 Instagram followers, having 100 Twitter followers, and having 5 Reddit followers is less than having one follower on GitHub. So if you have one follower on GitHub, so you got Game Boy. So that's something we meme about in GitHub space. So just going forward with the repository topic. So what is repository? Repository basically, एक अगर initially देखा जाए, it's simply a folder uh, where you have all your resources that you're using in your projects. It could be different utils file, node modules, or something like that, a basic project. And then you have created that folder on GitHub, and then you're using that folder to access your code remotely as well. So it has project files, and each file revision history. You will be having the history as well कि आपने last versions में क्या changes की थी अपने code में. So you'll be having it. So it's really easy. By using GitHub, you can access that code as well. Also, you can discuss and manage your projects within the repository. If we are managing, maybe for example, your final year project, if you are a university student, on GitHub, it's like really beneficial for it. So let me show you the repositories. Same thing, you go to here your profile, and you can also go to here your repositories. Then you can see there are like my different repositories. They could be public or private as well. As you can see, I have different projects here. Few of them are public and few of them are private. So for example, if I open one of my project, which is events registration app, which I recently built on using Django and Vue. So it shows like there are my project files. It could be, this is the front end as well. So then I can attach my readme to guide. It's basically a documentation. If a new person is coming, then it is saying how you can use my project. So it is simply giving it a backend URL and the installation setup. It's simple. And here you can set up your project URL and then the tools that you're using here. So it's really, really simple. Uh, After that, so next, what we have, so repository is something, it's a folder where you're managing your code as well. So in the repository, we have different branches. Branches allows you to develop features, fix bugs, or safely experiment with new ideas in a contained area of your repository. कोई भी रिपॉजिटरी होती है उसकी एक डिफॉल्ट ब्रांच होती है which is right now called main branch, and you can create different branches, and then you can merge those branches into the main branch. So why it is important to create another branches and what is branching visually? So let me share it with you. So as you can see, I have as a, so you can also rename your default branches as well. So my default branch is dev, and then I have different branches. So what I did, this is my private repository, which refers to my dev folio which I coded. So it shows different branches, and whenever I was coding, uh, so I created different branches for each feature. For example, uh, if I show you my dev folio, so it has different features or pages here, like components, or you can say views. So there are contacts, background, portfolio, and I divided those branches into something like that: manage state, mobile view, sidebars, and then contacts. Like I put it into the different branches. So it helped me to manage my code better. So for example, I coded the main page and it was working fine. This was the main page, and then I decided to add one more feature. Like if I click on contact, it should open this page. But when I coded main page, it was working fine, and when I coded contacts page, it was not working fine. In fact, the main page also destroyed. So what should I do? I can just revert back to my main branch, and I can remove this branch, contacts branch, from my main branch as well. I can revert it as well. So it's always better to create different branches for different features. But if you're working in industry, uh, or, or 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 a big project, so what you should do, there are particularly management tools used such as Jira, and these tools have your project management will be assigning you different features or different tasks there, and each task will have a unique ticket number. So you can use that ticket number to create a branch. Like for example, fix mobile layout for the main page. So it's a like a really small issue, but you'll have to create a different branch, and then when you create a branch, you will be coding in that branch, so you could not affect the main code. So whenever you are done with the main branch, sorry, the branch that you are working on for the issue, then you can merge that branch into the main branch as well. So it's like really simple. So how you will be doing that, all the merging, and then how you'll be doing that, like अगर आपने एक सब ब्रांच बना लिया, आप उसको मेन ब्रांच में कैसे मर्ज करेंगे, and what's the process? So let's discuss it. So first of all, we are meme guys. So this is one of other meme as well. So it is definitely tells you that you should always work in different sub branches as well. So actually, this is an old meme. So there is this really interesting and fact which recently just GitHub did. So as you can see, I only work in master. So uh, previously main branch was called master, and recently it got replaced with main because of the issue that we have. So we shouldn't be being racist or sexist using that name as well. So after that we have pull request. So आपने एक branch बना ली है, आपने अपना code change कर लिया है sub branch में, you have fixed that issue that you were working on. So now what you have to do, so pull request lets you tell other about changes you have pushed to a branch in a repository on GitHub. Once a pull request is open, you can discuss and review the potential changes with the collaborators and add follow-ups commits before you chart changes are merged into the base branch. So what it tells, for example, uh, you had to develop a page contacts, okay, and then after that, what you have to do to merge it, you created a branch, you created a pull request as well. So how you do it? If I go here on branches, there are like different branches which are being merged. As you can see, it is merged, it is merged, it is merged on different time periods. So what you should do, so there are pull requests and 9 are closed. Pull requests are something that are changes that were being pushed by any other developer, or they are like different branches or features that are created by different developers and now they are pushed into the main branch. जो भी issue branch complete हो जाती है, they are called closed branches as well. So as you can see, if I go to this commit, so commit is basically, yeah. So if I go to this commit, so it will tell you कि इसमें क्या क्या changes थे. So these were the changes that I did in the designs. So it was related to something. So these greens ones are the changes that I did, and the red ones that are the changes I previously did. So I can check it. So mostly you will be working with the senior developer, so which will be merging your pull requests as well, and will be checking your code from here. And if you are merging the pull request and you're reviewing the code, you can easily click on this plus button and talk about anything like uh, if your teammate has done something that you were not considering, so you can just type it here or give him a suggestion right here easily. uh, Other than that, so uh, how you can create a pull request, it's like really simple. Whenever you create a branch, you can simply go to like this branch. as well. So कैसे pull request create हो रही है, कैसे merge हो रही है, I'm only talking about the technical terms today. So uh, uh, let's discuss about how we can merge the pull requests as well. So you have created the pull request, आपने बता दिया कि मैंने ये changes कर दिए. So you have given it a title or a description के for example, sorry, am I audible, Arsalan?
So बीच में थोड़ा सा कट हो गया था 2 दफ़ा, but now you're audible.
Okay, sure. Let me know if there are like any lagging from my side. So this is the heading that I wrote when I was creating the pull request as well. You can also write a description because I was managing this project, so I didn't care about much और मैंने ज़्यादा इसमें description लिखी नहीं थी, but it's always a better practice to write a description with your code or with your project as well. So the pull request is simply a thing where you tells the manager of the repository that I have done few changes in the new branch, and you can also review it and merge it to the main branch. You can merge it into the main code, so I can see my changes into the production environment. Like here you can see rahelsiddiqui.com. So yeah, development environment is something which is local host, and then the production environment is something that you can see on a URL or something. Just for beginners, this is the easiest definition I can come up with. So issues are basically something that जैसे कि कोई QA है, आप मतलब जो भी टेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं आपके प्लेटफॉर्म में, उसने कोई बग देखा है एंड मे बी आप किसी ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट में कंट्रीब्यूशन करना चाह रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल पाइथन का कंसिडर कर लेते हैं. पाइथन इज एन ओपन सोर्स लैंग्वेज. So you find something ke Python में missing है. So there should be a function which calculates the quadratic formula. Okay, quadratic equation. So what you will do ke you will create a new issue and then write it should have quadratic equation formula, and then you can write about the description here as well. So you can submit new issue, or you can also uh, uh, work on this issue by yourself if you have created an issue, and if this is an open issue you have created and it's a valid. So different people on the Python organization can work on this issue as well, or you can also contribute open source into that issue as well. So this is something. And then after the pull request, merging a pull request. In a pull request, you propose that changes you have made on a head branch should be merged into a base branch. So head branch is something जो कि अभी मैंने for example ली थी contacts branch की, right? So this is the head branch that you are working on, and then the base branch is the default branch, which is dev for me for this project. Usually it is called main, but for me it is dev. So you'll be saying that I am done with the contacts branch and I have created a pull request. Then your manager will be reviewing that pull request, that the code that you have done, you have written a good logic, or the feature that you were asked to implement, it is implemented finally. Then it will be reviewed and merged into the base branch as well. So after that, we have forking. So forking concept is like really interesting, and it helps you to reuse different repositories and different code bases as well. A fork is a copy of a repository that you manage. Fork lets you make changes to a project without affecting the original repository. So what fork does is, okay, uh, you are just scrolling down GitHub and you see really interesting project. So what you'll do it is okay, you don't want to like directly work on that project, but you need that project in. So you need that project as a service in your project, so you can reuse that project or you can contribute into that project as well. There are like two basic understandings of it. So what you can do, you can create your own copy of that project. For example, there was this uh, project which used to tell कि आपको Instagram ने किस आपको Instagram पे किसने unfollow किया है. So you can simply uh, clone that project and you can add something in that कि आपको GitHub पे किसने unfollow किया. You can reuse the algorithm, you can maybe fetch the GitHub API, and then you can work on that project. So this is what you can do. So let me just show you what is forking is. So for example, this is my project and it has 0 forks because this is the private repository. Let me go to some of my organization. For example, this is the organization, and then it has 6 forks. So 6 people who are using GitHub have forked this project because they wanted to work on it or do some changes. तो वो ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि फॉर्क करके फिर इसके अंदर ओपन सोर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन भी कर सकते हैं, एंड दे कैन आल्सो क्रिएट देयर ओन वर्जन ऑफ इट एज वेल. सो फॉर्किंग जब भी आप करेंगे, यू डोंट हैव टू केयर अबाउट के मैं कोई जो मेन कोड बेसिस के अंदर मैं कोई मसला कर दूंगा या फिर कोई मेरी वजह से मेरे कोड की वजह से मसला हो जाएगा, but you have like full freedom that you have created your own copy of that project. Now you can do anything in that project as well. You can reuse that project as well, and you can do some tweaking as well. So this is called mainly forking. After that, we have this really cool concept of organizations. So organizations are shared accounts where business and open source projects can collaborate across many projects at once. इसमें different organizations आ जाती हैं. So any open source project have a particular organization. For example, there's this organization PSF, Python, जो Python की organization है. Okay, so they are managing Python language, and then there's this organization which is managing Linux as well. So if I go to Google and then Python GitHub, so this is the GitHub, and then this is the organization of Python, which is named as Python, and then they're like sub repositories as well. So the cool example of it would be कि आप if you are a student and you are working on your final year project, you can create the organization of your project and can add the team members into that organization. This is what I'm doing with my final year project. So you can create multiple repositories here. For example, you are working on a project that requires backend, maybe scrapers, parsers, and then the front end. So you can create different repositories named backend and then front end, and these are the scrapers. So you'll be having 3 4 different repositories. As you can see here on Python organization, they are like different, each of the different library has different uh, repository as well. So, and you can also see like different repositories here. If I go to C Python, and I can also check the pull requests here. So 1.6k people have contributed here as well. More of them, but they are like 1.6k open pull requests right now, and then the closed 28,878, which is like really quite big number. So you can also contribute in that. If we go to any particular pull requests from here, so for example, this is something that this guy did, and this is the name of this pull request, and then he created a branch uh, called this, and then he also wrote few of the description here, and then different people reviewed it, and then finally it got merged by this bot, and then yeah, and approved by this guy. So this is something that we do, and they discussed it right here, and then they also shared that status check is done and it's a failure. So few of the test cases were failing. So you can also discuss it into this conversation, and then it will be having different commits as well. And you can also see check कि इसमें कौन कौन सी files change हुई हैं. So there are like different files changed into the code as well. So right here, as you can see, and then the check simply shows your integrations that we discussed. It could be testing, it could be CI/CD and stuff as well. So yeah, this was the quick uh, definition of organizations and the practical of it as well. So now, as we are going towards the end, so what we can do is we can sign up to GitHub, as I already have account. So you guys, if you don't have any GitHub account, so you can always go to github.com, and the process is like super uh, easy. You can just click on sign up, and then you can write your username here or your email, and then you will have to pass a reCAPTCHA, and then you're in. You have created your GitHub account. And then how to set up, or how to uh, set up your GitHub account with your local PC, we'll be discussing it into the next workshop as well, which is going to be totally practical. So yeah, another meme in the end. And yeah, thank you so much for guys for listening to me, and feel free to approach if you have any queries. You can explore my portfolio website, raheelsiddiqui.com, and you can connect me on LinkedIn as well. So Yep. Arslan, over to you.
Awesome. All right. So if anyone has any question, please do ask so that we can answer it. I love the memes, by the way, that you added.
Yep, they were specifically for programmers.
All right. Looks like no question. And I always say this to myself whenever there isn't any question, and I deliver a talk and there isn't any question, that I think I delivered it perfectly. Perfect. So you can say this to yourself as well, just to make yourself feel good.
Thanks, man. So one thing that we can do as well, we can discuss about developer student pack as well.
So there is a question. Do you want to like talk answer that, or you want to talk about the student developer pack first?
Yeah, so yeah, so basically the question is, are there any other version control systems, cloud providers as well? So what I'm getting from the question that if there are different version controlling system, so yeah, sure, for sure they are like different version controlling system, uh, such as Bitbucket, GitLab. They offer few of the similar services, but GitHub has like a big community, and these all have different uh, unique features as well. So if you are if you are talking about like particularly version controlling system, so in a sense of Git, so so before Git, I know few of them like there were Perforce, there were Apache subversion as well, uh, and it was something similar to it. But as a techies, so we all adopted Git, and now Git is being used by all over the world. So yeah.
Just to add a bit more there, yeah, so this is like something that's like very common, so that's why we do use this. And this, the Git is something that you will find a lot in whenever you go to some event, some technical event. But companies like Facebook and Microsoft and Google, they do maintain their own code base on something that's totally different, because the code base that they have, that's like extremely huge, so they do not use Git for that. They have a totally separate version control system. And that is like what I heard, is that they have made it for like that specific purpose. All right. Yeah, if you want to talk about the student pack.
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen as well. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Student pack. So it is like really easy to get it, but I'm going to talk about the perks. So GitHub Student Developer Pack is specifically for students. So what is the really cool thing about it? So you get really premium softwares and really premium features for of different software free. So for example, we have Canva Pro. That so the presentation that you guys have seen were edited on Canva Pro, which is like usually paid. And then you have Namecheap, Microsoft Azure credits, JetBrains. A lot of like really big organizations are part of this, and then they give really cool discounts and free of cost services to students to manage their projects and to contribute to their projects as well. You can also check it out, like if you want to work on your domains, your dev folios or your portfolios, you can easily get discounts on your domains as well, or you can as well get them free on different like .tech domains पे. और अभी मैं recently देख रहा था Namecheap पे मुझे discount मिला था. And then there's this another platform which has .me, domains as well. So other than that, if you have developer student pack, so you can also apply to the GitHub Campus Expert program, and which is like a really good program for the students, and there like a lot of learning in that program. Also, they send you these cool slides as well. One of them I am reading right now. So yeah. So you can easily apply into the development pack from here and sign up from your GitHub and give your student email address, and then you can give your ID card, and then in a week, I guess you get the pro version of GitHub as well. So yeah, that's development pack for you guys.
And also, if it's taking like too long for you, you can just message any of the campus expert. You can message me, or you can message Raheel, or
Yeah.
any other campus expert from Pakistan. By the way, quick question, Raheel. What is your favorite perk from the student pack?
Yeah, so number one are still swags. And the number two, so for real, I'm gonna talk about the communities. So the GitHub Campus Experts community is like really really helpful, and like there are really really amazing people in there. So I have been connecting with not so we are connected to that program as well. So but I have connected to the people all around the world, from India, from uh, different countries as well. So it's really good to have. So I was talking to this guy, and he shared some of really cool technologies that I was working on. And yeah, it's really good to have technical community around, and then the learning and the support that you get from the this program is like super super amazing. So yeah.
On point. And what's your favorite part from the perks that you get from the student developer pack, like Canva, Namecheap, etc.?
Yeah, for me it is Azure because my one or two of my projects are being uh, used by Azure as well, and then that dot tag, the domain thing, and then Canva Pro is super amazing, and then GitHub Pro as well.
For me, it's
Everything,
front end masters.
yeah, yeah. So everything there is like really super super cool. You cannot say to
All right.
anything. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So this was the part one of introduction to Git and GitHub, and in the week two, in the second week, next week we will be covering the rest of the topics, and we will have the same speaker, and hopefully the same time and same day. So yeah, that is it, and thank you everyone for showing up and sticking to till the end of the session. So any other thing or anything you want to talk about? I mentioned at the end here before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys and the cause that you're working on, Jadu team and you especially. So, yep, thanks to for inviting me. And yeah, guys, see you on Saturday next week, 10:15 p.m. same time, and we'll be doing uh, handful work and probably workshop on technical terms as well. We'll be checking how to connect GitHub technically with your local machine, and then all those things that I mentioned right now. So we'll be implementing them as well. So yeah, stay tuned.
Awesome. All right. So that is pretty much it for this week and for the very first stream. So see you all in the next stream. Have a good day. Good evening. Khuda Hafiz.
Bye. Bye. Allah Hafiz.